Please don't turn off. Okay. I think we're in the clear. Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you've already seen my face before, you see the title. I purchased all 4 of the Glossier U fragrance travel sizes, and at this point, it's 2026. I've spent several months testing all of these to see what do they smell like, how do they compare, which one's my favorite, yada yada yada. So I have all the travel sizes of each scent. So we got the original Glossier U, then we have the 2 ones that came after, which is Doux and Reve, or however you pronounce it, and then the 4th one, which is Fleur. I have my iPad with my script that I wrote out. So the reason I wanted to do this is because I purchased the original U in the past, and it was like a real compliment getter. Like, I literally wore this to work at my part-time job, and I got 3 compliments in one day, which is insane. It's insane, like all within the span of 4 hours. And then I went to Sephora when these 2 came out, and I smelled them, and I really liked them both. And then when they came out with this one, I was like, alright, I gotta try them all. I gotta try them all, and I gotta see which one I like the most. So I figured I'd compare. That being said, after spending some time smelling them, I do think they're kind of like their own unique fragrance. They're not like flankers, which I think is like the best way to describe what I thought they were originally. And when I say flankers, it's like a spin-off the original. So that I learned from Emma from Perfumerism, because I love her. I love her channel. And I've been really into fragrance like the past year, since like 2025. I've been really into fragrances, so I've been watching a lot of fragrance content. You can tell the script is old. So now that I'm not in school anymore, girl, it's been almost 2 years since I graduated. So yeah, I've had a lot of free time. I've gotten into fragrance. I've watched Perfumerism, and I've been doing a lot more research on fragrances to try to like curate my collection to see like what I like. What do I like to smell like? I will link Emma's channel down below, because she's just so knowledgeable about the world of fragrances. And if I sound like I know what I'm talking about, it's because I learned everything from her. So, as mentioned, I did purchase the original U. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the fact that like when I wore this one to work, I was literally separated by customers from like the clear screens that we had up during COVID. So that's how you know. And like these are like light fragrances. Well, I would say all of them except for this one. So the fact that someone could smell it, like I think the term is called like sillage. Maybe I'm wrong. But basically like how far it projects and like whether or not people can smell it on you. The fact that I thought this was light and people can smell it on you is insane. So how I tested these out. When I bought all of them originally, I spent a couple days just spraying them on my forearms, smelling them side by side, so I could try to compare them. That's my laundry. So what I did originally was I wore each scent for a whole week to collect the following data. So projection, can people smell it on me? Is it blind buy safe? Does it sound exactly like how it's described? And is it like just worth it? This one's more personal, like would I personally buy it? Like the pricing and all that. Now, of course, disclaimer, these are just my opinions.
That's my opinion!
What I like is obviously going to be different from what you like. I'm also not a professional perfumery student. So I'm gonna try to describe, I'll describe like the notes, like what's listed on Sephora, but then I'll like say what I think it smells like. They're also, I believe, designed to smell differently on each person. That's like the whole reason this went like popular, was because supposedly it smelled different on everyone. Meh. But yeah, fragrance is very personal, so it's kind of difficult to recommend something, but I like watching perfume videos about what other people say about them to kind of gather my own data, especially if you know like, oh, I like a gourmand, like I like the smell of cupcakes or fruit or floral, earthy, yada yada yada. So just like as a baseline, my current favorite perfume is Gucci Guilty Pour Femme, the Eau de Parfum, which is a warm and spicy amber floral perfume with notes of mandora, pink pepper, bergamot, lilac, rose, violet, geranium oil, patchouli, and amber. If I remember to, I will pop up the Fragrantica note breakdown for each of these. For Gucci Guilty, it says that the strongest notes are lilac and violet. So florals are basically my favorite realm of perfume, if that makes sense. Okay, so now let's get in. So we obviously are going to start with the original. So the fragrance family, and all of the information that I have, by the way, is pulled from the Sephora website. So the fragrance family is warm and spicy. It is a warm and sheer perfume, and the key notes are pink pepper, iris, and ambroxan. So it says bright, spicy top notes of pink pepper that are met with a sweet, warm center from a Brett seeds and smooth, salty ambro that is balanced with earthy iris. Also note, this is the only one on the Sephora website that says that it's vegan/cruelty free. So I don't know if they just like forgot to add it to the other 3 fragrances, but this is like the only one that says that. So first impressions, kind of like I said, I already purchased this previous to rebuying it for this video. So I would say it's pretty unisex. Pink pepper is the strongest note with the original like first spray and the dry down. I don't really know what iris smells like, so I'm not going to comment on that, but like this is a perfume where when I would spray it, I would hold my breath because if I inhaled it like right away, it would make me want to sneeze. So like it tickles my throat. I would say it's a pretty good everyday scent because it is like not offensive. It's not super strong, I would say, like at least to me. Like I don't think this is offensive. It was basically like I would spray this in the morning when I was getting ready for work. This is how I did it for all of them. I sprayed it in the morning when I was getting ready for work, and then I would go to work. And then for this one in particular, I'll go through them, you know, individually. I could barely smell it by the time I got home. Nobody said anything to me, which now that I think about it, or I have it written down, but I don't know if it has to do with my job. And also when I was wearing these, I wasn't as familiar with my coworkers because I've only been there a little over a year. But the position I'm in is a government position, and so I think there's a little bit more formality compared to my part-time job, which is a retail. So it's a little bit more casual at my part-time job, so I'm wondering if that's why like nobody really said anything to me. But basically what I did was I would do like 2 spritzes on the inner elbows and then 2 on the like back of my knees, but it was spraying onto my clothes. So I don't know if there's a difference. I mean, there obviously is. If you know about perfume, like they say to smell it, they say to spray it on your skin. Certain perfumes do last longer on my clothes, but again, I didn't know about that by the time I ran out of all these. It's not horrible. It definitely smells nice, but it's just not something I think I'll be repurchasing, but I wouldn't be mad if someone gave this to me as a gift. And I think the main reason is because of the fact that I want to sneeze every time I smell this, because like now I kind of really know what pink pepper smells like, and I don't hate it, but it's just like I don't want to sneeze, and I don't want other people around me to be tempted to sneeze. Kind of what I was saying earlier, like when I spray Gucci Guilty on my clothes or other perfumes that I have, like I have Eclair by Lattafa, that sticks to your clothes. I have Midnight Addiction by Bath & Body Works. That stays on my clothes. Like, I can smell it days later. This doesn't do that. So my overall rating was a 6 out of 10 because it is unique. It's a good perfume. Not my favorite to smell, but I think if you're curious as to how it will smell on you, and this kind of just goes with all of them, go to Sephora, spray it on yourself, try it for yourself. I got one of my good friends a sample set because Sephora has like I don't know if it's 1 milliliter or 2 milliliters, but it's like they have all 4 of these in the tiny little spritzer things like you get it in samples. Like, you know how if you order something online, they'll send you like a random sample of a perfume and it's like the tiniest thing ever. You can get all 4 of these like that for 15 bucks, I think. So that's the original one. So now we're gonna move on to Reve. So it is a warm and spicy, warm and sweet gourmand perfume with keynotes of buttercream, plum butter, and ambro. So it's described lush, sweet gourmand that opens with rich buttercream followed by an addictive center addictive center of plum butter, toasted almond, iris, and creamy white sandalwood, heightened by a warm musky base driven by amber. So again, it was like when I originally went in to smell these two, I liked both of them, but I couldn't decide which one to purchase. So at the time, I didn't buy either. But first impressions, this is a sweet, I think it's sexy. It's a date night scent. I don't think I'd wear it as a everyday scent. Simply because I think it is the most offensive. And you know, when I say offensive, it's just like, you know, if you walk by someone, you're gonna smell this. I personally think. Just for reference, like some of my other go-to date night scents is Gucci Guilty, Black Opium by YSL, the Bath & Body Works Into the Night / Midnight Addiction, which are kind of like spin-offs of Black Opium. So it is heavy, it's very feminine. The other one I said was pretty unisex. This one I say is leaning more feminine. When it dries down, you definitely get the plum and almond notes. I know I've watched videos where people think it smells like cherry. It does smell like cherry, but once you know it's plum, you can tell that it's not cherry. So the two things I remember most about this is that I think that this has a very medicinal scent to it. I don't know what it is. It just reminds me of being in elementary school, being sick, and my mom being like, you need to take this cherry medicine, like the liquid kind. So this is like that's like a huge turnoff for me. The other thing though, that is crazy, is that to me, it smells exactly like this fragrance combination that I already own, which is Finery Not Another Cherry and the Mix Bar Whipped Almond Hair and Body Mist. These two together, you can get them at Target. They're cheap. Obviously you can see this one is basically gone. This one's a little bit harder to tell, but I wear these in combination and it smells almost identical to the Reve. But you can smell the buttercream, which is nice. So this overall rating, I did a 6.5 out of 10. While I didn't smell it at first, so like the medicine scent really puts me off at first, but then the dry down is nice. It's nice to smell, but gourmands aren't really my thing. I don't have a lot, and you have to wait for the dry down, which I don't know. It's just not for me, you know, it's just not for me. Moving on. Doux. Doux. So this one, fragrance family is earthy and woody. It's a warm woods with keynotes of sweet violet, Palo Santo, and Ambro. It's a woody fragrance that opens with sweet violet, followed by a precious blend of woody Palo Santo, frankincense, and smoky myrrh, heightened by a warm musky base driven by Ambro. So the first impressions, obviously it's woody, it's earthy, the Palo Santo, it's fresh. It kind of almost, you know, it's got the frankincense note, which to me I associate with incense, and I love incense. It's spicy. Funny enough, this was my least favorite off the bat, but it's a good everyday scent. I also think it's unisex. So when I smelled it next to the original, this is a little bit more masculine, but the dry down's pretty similar to the original. So throughout the week when I tested it, I wrote that it's weaker than the original You when it comes to like longevity. I wrote completely gone by the time I get to work. Disappointed with the performance, but it's so light and airy that I can't say I'm surprised. Definitely don't think I've smelled another perfume like this before. But here's the thing, after wearing it for a long time, my boyfriend also likes this scent. I gave this a 7 out of 10 because a lot of people like associate the clean girl scent with like the Glossier You. But for me, in my head, like the whole clean girl image of like, you know, having your shit together and everything, she would be wearing this. I don't know what, I think it's the earthy, just like having like a calm aura about you and just like, I don't know, something about being in touch with nature. This gives me that girl. And I think it is mostly because of the Palo Santo. And I think if I had to go, like if I was forced to either buy this one or the original, I would go with this one. And then finally, we have this last one, which is Fleur. So this is a fresh floral scent with keynotes of Lang Lang, apricot skin, and Ambro. It's airy and luminous floral blended perfume that opens with a salty mineral accord and then leads into a heart of velvety apricot skin and an exquisite blend of new blossoms, fuzzy osmanthus, and a creamy Lang Lang accented by woody cashmere and all balanced by a warm musky base driven by Ambro. So my first impressions were, it's feminine, It's floral, it's warm, it's sweet, it's a good everyday. I definitely do like the salty hint that you get at first because I'm a salty girl. I'm a salty person. Like sweet or salty, I'm going for salt. It kind of almost, like when I smelled it, it gave me like the Santal vibes. Like I have the Lost in Santal by Bath & Body Works. And I feel like it's like its cousin, you know? But I don't think it smells like the original. It's floral sweet, but not offensively sweet. Like a 4 out of 10 on sweetness scale. Like I've definitely smelled sweeter perfumes and I'm not into sweet perfumes. I think it's perfect for the spring, summer. I would say even fall. On the skin, it dries down to mostly the Ambro and Apricot. I thought it was peach at first because they smell really similar to me, but like if you know what peach tastes like, then you'll know it's not that. Kind of like what I was saying earlier with like the plum versus cherry. It's light and airy. You've probably smelled something like this before, like if you're not into perfumes but you like smell them like when you go into stores and stuff, or if you have an extensive fragrance collection, you'll probably have something all similar to this. Maybe. I also wrote that there's something nostalgic about this scent. For me, I don't know what it is, but I wrote down that it kind of smells like almost like a laundry detergent I've had before. And this one I wrote for rating, I put it as an 8 out of 10 because obviously, like I said at the beginning, florals are up my alley. The dry down is warm, it's floral, it smells very pleasant. Is there probably similar fragrances out there? Yes. But like I would love for my room to smell like this. I like the idea. The last time I wore this fragrance was like in November of 2025. And I had gone to get my hair cut. And I was like finishing up the last juice of it. And I went to go get my hair cut. And then I went to Kohl's to do an Amazon return. And the guy there was like, oh, you smell good. But I was like, oh, I couldn't tell if it was because I had just gotten my hair cut and so she washed it and she put product in it, or if it was because of this. Now that the individuals are done, I need to pull up the prices again for these. I think the tester ones are like 30 bucks each. Wait, I might be lying. Okay, so I believe all of these, so these are 8 milliliters and they're $32 each. That's the average price for like one of these tester sprays. So I think if you want to try out one of these, I think it's definitely worth it. But like you should go and smell them first. I don't think blind buying is a good idea ever. And I've recently gotten, because I'm more into fragrance now, I know about like websites where you can order like decanted samples. So I'll leave a couple of those in the description because I use Scent Split to order a couple. But these you can obviously go into Sephora or you can go to a Glossier store and you can smell them. But my original thoughts overall, so for the original you, definitely thought it was unique when it came out. Obviously there's a lot of skin scents nowadays. So I would go around and try out a nice good skin scent if that's what you're looking for. It makes me sneeze, but I think it's a huge compliment getter, especially because it is supposed to smell different on everyone. I think, why not? Why not? Why not? If you want to try it, if you got the money or if you have the points, why not? Reve smelled like medicine on opening. It dries down nicely. It's heavy. I can get this, like I said though, I can get this near identical smell with 2 other inexpensive fragrances that last me longer. So I personally wouldn't go out and buy this for myself. Next, Doux, the ultimate clean girl scent. My boyfriend likes it. I love a good earthy, woody scent. And if I had to choose between this and the original, I would buy this one. And then Fleur, sweet and innocent, nostalgic, smells like laundry detergent. Again, I would probably go out and buy that. So these would be my 2 ones that I would go out and buy. All of these are super light, so I don't think it's gonna last all day. But I also think it just depends, because if you spray it on your skin, it might last longer than if you spray it on your clothes. Obviously, it depends on temperature outside as well. Yeah, again, these aren't like loves for me. Like sometimes I smell a perfume and I instantly like kind of fall in love with it because, I don't know. For me, I remember hearing a saying once where it's like, if it's not a fuck yeah, it's a fuck no. So none of these really have that for me. But these are like my top 2. But like I have florals already, so it's like this one just, I think if the next time, I'm trying to go through my fragrances right now, but I think when I run low, I'll probably revisit this one and maybe buy like a full-size bottle. Not like a full size, but like the step up from this. I'm trying to see if, I wonder if I could, these have been empty for a while. Like this, it smells good. It smells good. These all smell good. That's the downside. This one, the buttercream, you can smell it. Oh, these just all smell so good. I love fragrances. I just love things that smell good. But yeah, this one is like top. Oh, these are both so good. Okay, but whatever. Hopefully I remember to edit in all the things I want to edit and insert the links. But yeah, that was my review of all 4 Glossier fragrances. I wonder if they're going to come out with any more, because if they do, I definitely will be trying them. But yeah, that is all for me today. You should you can subscribe if you want. I don't post a lot. I kind of just post like time capsule thingies. Also, yeah, I'm using an old camera that I used to use before. It is the Rebel T3i from Canon, and I have my nice Rode microphone, so we are professional again, or whatever. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye!